When we discuss healthcare in Missouri, we often focus on hospitals and clinics. However, one of the most significant threats to public health in our state doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens on our roadways. Missouri's rural landscape defines our state, but it also presents unique risks for drivers. While urban centers deal with high traffic volume, rural communities face different challenges: higher speeds, limited lighting, and significantly longer emergency response times. In 2024, Missouri saw 954 traffic-related fatalities. While that's a slight decrease from previous years, the disparity remains. Rural Missourians are disproportionately represented in these statistics. To understand the scope of this problem, we look to the Missouri Department of Transportation, or MoDOT's, Highway Safety Plan. According to their data, rural fatalities consistently account for nearly half of the state's total roadway deaths, despite these areas having significantly lower population density. This isn't just about bad luck, it's a health behavior issue. One of the most glaring statistics involves occupant protection. In rural Missouri, seatbelt usage rates traditionally lag behind the state average. This is especially true in our agricultural communities, where the short trip mentality often leads to drivers skipping the seatbelt, a decision that proves fatal when combined with rural road conditions. Addressing this requires looking at three specific behaviors. First, speed. Many rural roads have speed limits of 55 or 60 miles per hour, but these roads weren't designed with the same safety buffers as interstates. A momentary lapse in judgment on a narrow shoulder leaves very little room for error. Second is distracted driving. Under the Siddons-Bennings free hand law, Missouri has taken a firm stance against phone use while driving. Data from the Missouri State Highway Patrol indicates that distraction is a leading cause of run-off-road crashes in rural communities. Finally, we have to address impaired driving. In rural areas, lack of public transportation or ride-sharing options like Uber or Lyft often leads to higher instances of driving under the influence. It's a systematic issue that requires both personal responsibility and community-based solutions. So, how do we shift the culture of driving in rural Missouri? It starts with 3 actionable steps that every member of this community can take. 1. Prioritize occupant protection. Buckle up for every single trip, regardless of the distance. It's the single most effective way to survive a crash. Number 2. Eliminate distractions. Utilize hands-free technology or simply put the device away. A rural road requires 100% of your attention. 3. Plan ahead. If you're attending a social gathering, designate a driver. In a rural setting, the walk home or the safe ride doesn't exist by accident. It has to be planned. Our state's Show Me Zero initiative isn't just a slogan, it's a public health goal. We want to see zero families in our rural communities receiving the call that a loved one isn't coming home. Safe driving is an act of community care. By changing these individual behaviors, we reduce the burden on our rural healthcare systems, and more importantly, we save lives. We've made progress in Missouri, but the road ahead requires all of us to stay focused. Let's make sure our rural roads are known for their beauty, not their danger. For more information, visit savemolives.com or modot.org. Thank you for your time, and drive safe.